Like many introduced species, the territory buffalo have adapted too well to their environment. Brought into the top end as a farmer's tool, the buffalo was released into the wild once tractors and other machinery became readily available. And now, tens of thousands of hooves trample the once pristine floodplains of Arnhem Land.
Buffalo present probably the largest challenge for the rangers over the next 10 years. The line was being held probably 10, 12 years ago, and now you've got upwards of 18 to 20,000 buffalo. Alrighty, plan for the day.
The Jelk Rangers care for the country around Maningrida, a North Arnhem Land community around 500 kilometres east of Darwin.
Is just mark it. Jelk's role is to manage the land for and on behalf of landholders. So if we focus on getting that around that mockery area and that stone country down the bottom.
Today the Rangers are headed to the Jubalbal Plain, savanna country that contains the highest concentration of buffalo in Australia.
If you don't get any buffalo there, you should pick one up at Jabenna easy enough.
The road there is only accessible during the dry season, when rivers are kept to a passable depth. Closer to the plain, the terrain starts to change. Fallen trees show the damage from powerful cyclones that swept through earlier this year. The dirt road is tight and claustrophobic, before opening up to huge open spaces. Almost immediately, a buffalo herd is spotted in the distance.
Spotted a couple here, so a couple of big bulls, smaller cow. Bit out of range at the moment. We're going to try and have a look anyway.
Yeah, all right. Much of the buffalo are culled during the wet season when the Jubalbal Plain is covered in water. This ensures the body decomposes quickly, especially with the odd croc roaming about. But aerial culling is expensive. If the rangers push their budget, they can kill 2,000 to 3,000 buffalo a year. Yet, according to Jelk, this number will need to be doubled to simply hold the line and stop the population increase.
Ideally, we'd like to get it over 10 years down to those early 2000 levels where you had 3,000 to 5,000 buffalo in the IPA, which was plenty for people to hunt and eat, and is a manageable number.
What we got going, eh? Not too fast. Nah, it's pretty about 400.
So we're around 70 k's from Maningrida, and the rangers have spotted some buffalo off there in the distance. So we're going to get on foot now and try and get as close to the buffalo as possible. So hopefully the rangers can kill them in one shot. A clean hit. The rest of the team arrives shortly after to carve up the animal. The meat will be distributed among the community.
If landowner come here, see buffalo lying down like this, that one, you know, they got upset. So we kill, shoot buffalo and take them back meat for them.
Many traditional owners were wary of the rangers' plan to ramp up the buffalo cull. TOs rely on the animals as a source of protein. It's only after years of negotiations that the cull increase was agreed to.
Pick them up. Come on the buffalo track, that boy, and piggy. So we have to shoot them and make number down.
Well, this is just one of many examples of damage caused by buffalo. This is what's called a wallow, and as you can see, there's a big hole here, there's another couple behind me, and there's hoof marks everywhere. This is where the buffalo has essentially dug itself in to make itself a bit of a bath, to get wet and mud on it, to keep cool in the sun and also keep the insects off. But the problem is that these wallows litter the landscape, and these wetlands are meant to be smooth, as one ranger put it to me, as smooth as a putting green. But as you can see, it's far from that.
And it's definitely an eye-opener for me. Just the devastation they do to this country. I've talked to a lot of the traditional owners and how the land used to be, and it's far from what it used to be, 10, 15 years ago.
Out on Jabal Bal, the rangers have other jobs to care for country.
This is a lot of damage from the buffalo walking through in herds and just ruining the ground, as you can see. Just after we shot the buffalo, we noticed just over here we've got a mimosa plant growing. So just this one plant here, if left untreated, potentially this whole area could be covered in mimosa, and the buffalo spread it through chewing on the plant, eating it, then reproducing it throughout the floodplain.
Mimosa is a really heavy woody weed that, if it's left to get out of control, will completely destroy a floodplain area.
This is the first year of a 10-year plan to increase the buffalo cull. It's an ambitious task, and the rangers want help, whether that's more financial assistance or using the export industry to help keep the numbers down. Meanwhile, the buffalo numbers continue to swell.
The stories that are coming from our landowners is that that country is not healthy anymore, that they're not seeing the plants and animals, that physically it's not as accessible, but most importantly, a lot of that sustenance that people were getting from country is being eroded by the feral animals.